while back I was asked, Steve, why are you making all your golf lessons to be done online? Why don't you have a golf school that we can come to? We'll come to your golf school. And the answer to that is simple, is I'm interested in you learning. And if I'm interested in you learning, I can't have a golf school that's a traditional golf school, like 3 days or 5 days. Do they have 3-day violin playing schools? No. So therefore, we should not have 3-day golfing schools, because it's not going to work. I was asked about putting all my lessons online, what the reason was and what the benefit is to the student. And back then, I answered, the student, if they do it online, are in the learning environment. And we know that the school, any type of school, a building or a place that you go, is not the learning environment, that's the teaching environment. Things are learned at home. It's not until a student goes home and does the homework that anything is learned. So it doesn't really matter so much what gets taught. What matters is what gets learned. So with that in mind, I found that years ago when I saw the internet growing, and I thought, man, I think a lot of education is going to go online because it's perfect. So I decided to put all my lessons online. A few weeks ago I was watching television. There was an advertisement for K12.com, and it's where kids go to do all their schooling at home. And I'm not surprised. And of course they had mothers on that said their grades were going through the roof because they were at home. They weren't in a school. So the learning environment is the most calm, relaxed place in your world. That's where you'll learn best. We got a hunch that's your house. Also, in learning and memorizing a physical skill, all of our training is done in slow motion. So now we're in a relaxed, calm state, which is our home. We do the movements in slow motion like we're doing Tai Chi or yoga poses. This is for rapid learning and memory. We know that if a student you can't do it fast unless you can first do it slow. So we do all our learning in slow motion. And then last, you're in isolation. We need to be alone when we practice. We don't want people around us watching because it causes nervous tension and so forth and a lack of focus. Now, some other things came to me by way of the United States Marine Corps for our training purposes. And one is we're going to do all of our learning without the ball. When I'm from Boston, when I enlisted in the Marines in the early 1980s, they sent me to Parris Island, gave me a rifle. I never had a rifle, and they said, don't worry, you're not going to shoot anything. We're not giving you any bullets. We're going to teach you to shoot the rifle without bullets. So we're going to learn to swing a golf club without the ball. We're also going to, in most of the lessons, not even have a golf club in our hands because of focus. I discovered about myself, and then I tested it with others, is that the moment you put a golf club in somebody's hands, they're no longer focused on the lesson they're learning. So for example, when a golfer is learning the position of the hips in the backswing, for example, if you want them not to learn it, put a club in their hand because they'll pay attention to the club and not the hips. If you want them to really not learn it, add a golf ball. Then if you really want them to not learn it, have them do it fast. So, in fast motion. And that's what all golf training does. Fast motion with balls and clubs, and nobody's learning and improving. See, if we're not improving every week, something's wrong. We need to improve every week if we're doing the lessons properly. So all my students do is practice correct fundamentals in relaxed slow motion at home in front of a mirror over and over and over.